All right, well, as we teased before the break, yesterday the Governor and Executive Council of New Hampshire voted on the Mount Sunapee West Bowl expansion, approving the development 3-1. The decision during yesterday's meeting marked the beginning and end of two different timelines. It marked the end of the planning stage where the Department of Resources and Economic Development, known as DRED, heard public feedback, which at times was overwhelmingly negative. However, it also marked the beginning of the actual development stage, as officials now have the green light to move it forward. Now, in light of yesterday's vote, we thought that today we'd take a look at the project as it has developed over the past few years. The story of the Mount Sunapee West Bowl expansion is not a brief one, and YCN News has been there since the beginning. Having been spearheaded by the Department of Resources and Economic Development, headed by Commissioner Jeffrey Rose, the expansion promised an entirely new skiing area as part of Mount Sunapee Resort, offering 56 acres of new terrain with a new high-speed quad. Now, the development has been in the works since nearly 10 years ago, and since then has garnered an incredible amount of equal support and opposition. Groups such as Friends of Mount Sunapee made their voices heard during the entire process, citing detrimental environmental impact as a primary reason to not move forward. Opposition came mainly from the fact that the expansion would cut into a large slice of the Mount Sunapee State Park and would allow the privately owned ski resort to gain revenue from public land. The plan, although discussed nearly 10 years ago, moved forward truly in 2014 when it was initially presented to DRED in June as part of Mount Sunapee's revised 5-year master development plan, which immediately received widespread support along with the aforementioned opposition. Nearly a year after the initial proposal in early May of 2015, a large crowd turned out for a public hearing at the Sunapee Base Lodge with representatives of DRED. DRED and Mount Sunapee Resort remained steadfast in moving the plan forward while also taking into consideration the concerns of area residents. On Thursday, March 17th of 2016, Jeffrey Rose, the commissioner of DRED, presented the final plans to members of the public at the Newberry town offices. This master plan would be the same one that would go in front of the governor and council the following week for their approval or disapproval. On March 23rd, the expansion plan went in front of the governor and executive council as opponents and supporters packed the council chambers. However, the meeting turned out to be rather anticlimactic as the vote was tabled for another 2 weeks, with a public hearing being held in the meantime so that the councilors could get a better sense of exactly what they were voting on. The following week, on March 30th, the governor and council met to hear input from residents, which echoed the overwhelming opposition and support that had become so familiar with the project. Now, all of the last 2 years' events led up to April 6th, 2016, when the council voted 3-1 to approve the project. Councillor Christopher Sununu recused himself from the vote due to a conflict of interest as a gubernatorial candidate and the owner of Waterville Valley Ski Area.
Well, we're very thankful.
Officials with Mount Sunapee, including General Manager Jay Gamble, have expressed deep approval of the expansion plan, knowing it will provide an economic stimulus to the entire area. Meanwhile, the fight continues for opponents of the plan who know that their work is not done until the project is stopped in its tracks. The actual development will not start anytime soon, as some processes, such as an environmental impact study, must still be completed. But the gears are still churning, and skiers and riders will eventually have an all-new area to test their mettle. Now, for any and all of our previous pieces on the Mount Sunapee expansion, be sure to check out our website, YCNnow.com.